amazing. I mean, we had a 15-minute ride, and it was just locked in. I had to stand up and be like, hey, we got to refocus. And I was like, what am I even talking like this for? Because those guys were just absolutely mentally locked in to come out here today and take care of business and check another thing off our list of accomplishments that we wanted to set for our season goals.
Mitch, you obviously had it working early on. I'm sure the early lead probably helped you out as well, but talk about your complete game shutout going out there today.
I just got a lot of help from my defense the entire day. I felt like every time I left one down the middle, which felt like pretty frequently, the defense made a play for me, and I can't say enough about them. Hale called a great game. I don't know, everything just fell into place today. It felt like we got the good rolls, and everything they hit hard went right out.
Austin, it looks like you weren't buying that for a second about him leaving things down the middle. Were you?
Yeah, no, that's his stuff's nasty, so he kind of can get away with it, I guess, if that's what he calls it. But no, he was getting ahead. I think it was kind of his main focus today, and he was doing that and getting ahead. And like guys are kind of falling behind, and that's what happens when you do that. You get ahead and you get out.
They always say that hitting is contagious. Was that really a feeling, Austin? Obviously, in that first inning, you got a big hit.
Oh, absolutely.
As well.
When Smither hit that double up in the left center gap like he did, he had that last night too against JU too. You just shoot feed off of it, and I think that I feel confident going up there even after with 2 outs. I just felt like another at bat.
Coach, as it pertains to the national seed and the big picture, as you frequently like to put it, winning the tournament and winning in the manner that what you did. Can you talk about your candidacy as a potential national seed and what you think should happen on Monday?
Yeah, I think we've always believed in ourselves as a team since the day we stepped on the field, and we had to prove it, and we understand that. We weren't a perennial powerhouse last year, and people had some early season question marks about us, and I thought we went out and earned it. I think it took. I'll ask Ricky. It probably took about 10 weeks to get a ranking, in some of the rankings. But we finally broke in a couple of weeks ago, and this last week, I know, there's some big name or BCS level schools that have been throwing their names around in a national seed, and we said, well, let's make their jobs a little hard, And I think the only way that we would have been able to get in that conversation is sweep into the tournament. And so here we are. So hopefully we can be considered for that. I think at this point we're excited that we're pretty confident we're going to bring a regional to the city of DeLand and Stetson, and that has not happened before. And this isn't just about us in the locker room. We really feel a strong bond with obviously the university. Our president was here, Dr. Libby and Richard, her husband, were here. Our AD was here, Jeff Altier. But there's a lot of people from DeLand that came and supported us. So we're excited to hopefully host that next weekend, whether we're a national seed or not. I think it's if we can be a national seed, which we're hoping. And we're fortunate enough to play well in that regional. We'd love to have a super regional if we can keep on going. We have big dreams, big goals, but we accomplished what we want to do so far, and now it's on to a regional.
What did you see unfolding in that first inning? Was there anything that changed, or you could see that pitch was doing for UNF? As things kept going, you just kept hitting it hard and harder.
I'll say I don't think it was anything with the pitcher. I think the whole year we've kind of we've been really timid sometimes at the plate, and I think honestly it was just we were really aggressive and we put pressure on them, and that kind of in that situation when you have that that type of situation, it's a lot of pressure on the pitcher, and sometimes hitters forget how much pressure there is on the pitcher, and I think we were just aggressive, and that's kind of where we fell there.
Mike. This is for all the players, including Mike, who hasn't been able to talk yet. What would it mean for you guys as players to obviously get a regional at home? You guys have been at home frequently this year. You guys play really well at your ballpark, and kind of assess your chances as you look forward to that next week.
Yeah, well, we're definitely pretty dominant at our home field, and it plays into our advantage really well because everyone knows us. We're kind of a pitching first type team, and then our offense just came along, and we're really hitting it now. So.
Mike, when you get to second base and 2 at bats into the game, you guys are already winning. Can you when you look back at the dugout, could you see the emotions on the guys, and how did that really kind of get things started today?
It's just good seeing everyone fired up and pretty much knowing whenever you get on base that you have a chance to score because you have confidence in all your players. And literally 1 through 9, even our bench, we're all swinging it right now. And looks great.
Austin, from a senior's perspective, can you just put into words what this entire run's been like, and to potentially get a chance to to finish it out at home, or at least get the postseason started at home.
Yeah, I can speak for all the seniors too and say that, we've been through kind of a wild ride with Stetson baseball in general from my freshman year on. I've kind of seen it all, from being the 6th seed to being the 1st seed to winning it, to losing it, to going 2 and out. Like, I've seen it all, and, it's awesome to finally, kind of build a culture and go, in the right direction in which we're heading. And it all starts with Coach Trimper, and I think, it's been a fun ride, and I can't ask for anything else. And I'm excited for the NCAA tournament. It still hasn't hit that we're in it, obviously, and so having a regional at DeLand would be even more special, especially the crowd that we can get. And I think for the future on it, it'll be really helpful.
Mike, I know you told me coming into the tournament that you had a lot of confidence at the plate, and it obviously showed. Talk about what you've done late in the season to really come on.
Well, I think a lot of it's mental. I was a little bit more passive and trying to figure out why I was doing bad earlier in the year versus how I could do good and how I could do better. So once I figured that out and started thinking that way, I just saw everything fall into place, and I've been swinging well.
Coach, a handful of these guys have won this tournament before. This is your first. Can you put into perspective just what this day means to you to be able to lead Stetson back to the top?
Yeah, I think that's kind of a loaded question because we've felt pretty confident all year, and like I said, we've talked about having these big goals and big dreams, and we use the term small minds can't understand big dreams, and so one of the things that these guys do every single day is prepare. Another thing we say is those who are prepared don't feel pressure, and so we're trying to get out here and treating these things like we've accomplished them. And it's, by all means, we're not trying to be arrogant or anything like that, but when we won the regular season, we found out we were on the bus, and these guys are like, okay, hey, great, let's on to the next game. We're going to play Miami. Even with this game here, it felt like they were on the bus ride. They're like, hey, let's celebrate it. We've always talked about it. We celebrate these wins. It is very difficult to win college baseball games. I don't care who you're playing. It is difficult. One pitcher can shut you down when you think you're going great. And so we celebrate these wins, but I think this is obviously a foundation for what Austin talked about, which is the culture that these guys created. This is something that we want to continue. Obviously this year's not even close to being done for us, and we're going to see how far we can go. But we have a lot of good returning players. We have a lot of great recruits that are coming in. We're trying to get better recruits to come in the future, and it's really from what the seniors have set as our foundation in this team right here. So. There's a lot to still build off of these things, but it is obviously a special day for these guys and the team because, we're the ones working so hard. These guys are just grinding every single day, and I think you forget a little part of it. Stetson's a pretty good academic school, and so these guys still have to go to class and have to do other tests and study on the bus. And, we just won the ASUN championship, I get it, but we got a 3.3 GPA as a team. That's a pretty big deal to have those kind of accomplishments that also need to be celebrated. I know these guys are laughing a little bit, but it is important to show how hard these guys have worked at everything they do, and they're really the total package.
If you could just see the look on Spooner's face right now, I think.
Well, Spooner and I have had a little study hall time together, so so he's getting it done, though. He's getting it done.
I'm the brains of the team.
Mitchell, when Thurno comes out of the dugout there, what was the conversation you had with him and just finishing the ball game? Was there any limit that had been put on you?
I didn't think he was going out there to take me out. I think he just wanted to give me a breather, and that's what he did. I feel like he has a good feel for when he needs to go out there, so that was good. And then I bared down, and the game ended.
Excellent. Thank you very much.